Hello everybody in the Les Paul Forum. Welcome. My name is Joe and I post under the handle JBLP Player. And I promised Charlie I would do another lesson before I kind of set sail, no pun intended, for another lap around the globe and a couple of world tours. I'm very lucky to do this, by the way, for a living. I never take that for granted, never complain, because there's 1 billion guitar players that are better than me that would trade places with me in a nanosecond. But we are coming from my house here in Southern California, and I always said I bought it last year and was on the road so much. I always used to tell people, I go, I hear the house is really nice. I've never been there. I have keys. I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere. Anyway, I finally found it after using the GPS and a Starline tour. And sorry about that, that's the cable. And found my house. Anyway, I thought a good thing to talk about today in this lesson, if you want to call it that, is the difference or lack thereof in a guitar that maybe costs a couple of $1,000s or less, a guitar that costs somewhere up in the high 4 figures, and maybe a guitar that costs a couple $100,000, and kind of discover the sonic similarities between the three. You know, the little secret is there's not a whole lot of difference between a guitar that is made today and a guitar that was made 40 years ago. Maybe there's maybe 5 or 10% difference in the sonic and the playability, and it's mostly just the symbiotic relationship that you have as a player with your instrument that makes you grab it. Most of the sound and most of everything that you do comes from these things, and this is your greatest conduit. If you had a $100 Squier Stratocaster and a little amplifier, but you had music that was yearning to come out of you, you'd figure out a way to make that work if that was the only thing you had. And sometimes in the Les Paul Forum we get criticized by other people for being a bit bourgeoisie about the guitars. I can't do my gig unless I have a 59 Les Paul through a 59 Twin showing up at the gig in a 59 Cadillac. You know what I mean? So I thought today would be a good just demonstrate a few guitars of a different strata. They may not all be in the same tune because I didn't really prep for this properly. This is why I'm not a teacher. JD does a great job actually showing you how to play notes, and how notes go together. I don't know any of that stuff. I just kind of react. I'm a bit of an ear player. And so anyway, this is a 1957 Les Paul Special P90s. Nice guitar. I've had it for a long time. And the first take of this video, I ended up showing what the amp is, but then I ended up accidentally turning the video off, so I won't show it. Just trust me when I tell you. It's a 1955 Tweed Deluxe that I got really cheap, reasonably priced, because it's all stock except for one little thing. Somebody decided back in the day to brush paint it black over the original Tweed. I kind of like that stuff. I like stuff that the sins have already been committed and they look cool. And you'd never do this to any of the other Tweed amps that I have, but now that it's been painted black, I actually kind of love it. And I have a very rare Ampeg reverb unit. It's a little thing that just amplifies the reverb signal. So that's where you're hearing the reverb. So that's it. So this guitar, again, P90s have a certain sonic quality, but again, it all kind of sounds this, at least to my ears, there's not a huge difference between a pickup that would cost, if you were to buy this on G-Bass or Reverb, whatever, maybe $100 or $150, or as opposed to a PAF, Zebra that would cost you upwards of $4,000 or $5,000. So, front pickup, here you go. So this is a guitar maybe worth $7,000 or $8,000. So now let me find the guitar on the couch. That is something brand new. This is a Gibson USA model, Les Paul Standard. I'm not trying to sell you a guitar, but it just happened to be in my house. This is the Joe Bonamassa model. But I'm not trying to sell you. Actually, don't buy it. This way I can, don't buy it. Same guitar, brand new pickups, straight out of the USA shop in Nashville. Not a custom shop model, straight out of, this is what they make. This is the standard model. Hopefully it's in the same tune. Again, I didn't vet this. Again, pickups that would probably cost you retail in a shop maybe $75 or $80 a piece. I don't know what they are. There's some, they're just the stock, whatever Gibson uses, and they sound fine. Now, unplug this one. This is a guitar that's been discussed on this forum a few times. This is the Runt 1960 Les Paul Standard. Came from South Africa. Very nice guitar. I've played this on a bunch of tours. One of my favorite guitars I own. So again, let's not compare the tuning because I didn't prepare beforehand. Anyway, here's sound. Not a huge amount of difference between the three guitars, except for the price tag. And the whole thing is when you are searching for the sound in your head, a few things happen. The amp becomes critically important. Whether you want a Marshall sound or a Fender sound, there's really only two delineations in my opinion. You have Marshall and different versions of the same Marshall. You have the Bogner, the Mess Boogie, anything with a high gain Soldano. Then you have the Fender amp, which is basically the DNA for all your Dumble clones, including the Dumble amp itself. You have your Vox, you have your, whatever, the Selmer thing, which I never understood. Maybe I just haven't played a good one, but they always sounded a little kind of, let's just say, honest. So, again, when you're choosing an amp, it's what you want to say, how you want to be heard. Generally, I don't like a really super bright sound. I prefer more of a Fender style amp, even though I used Marshalls for years. But the Marshalls that I did use were very Fendery in their overdrive, and I used to always cut the Marshall with a Fender. Now I've just kind of gotten lazy and cranky and decided to stick a Celestion in a Fender amp, and there you go. It's the same thing. And most of the time I use an 80-watt twin of some sort. And it becomes a question, it's like, how do you want to be presented, what you want to say, and how you want to say it. But truly, you don't have to spend a lot of money. So thank you for watching. my phone is ringing, so I have to run. Cheers, everybody. I hope this was somewhat helpful, or if not, sorry to waste 10 minutes and 7 seconds of your time. Cheers, guys.